Today is a special day. Very special day for us.
Hello, everybody. Extremely special day.
Yes.
As you can see, Joe putting in the chat, it's interview day, baby.
It is the day.
Interview day. So if anybody was unfamiliar with what our stream was planned for today,
Yes.
we're going to be interviewing Bishop Webb of the Holy Order of the Claw.
We're going to be chatting with.
We're going to be chatting with him. We're going to be chatting with him. He's going to have a
some
nice, lovely
questions.
little conversation with him, you know? So, I mean, let's just see. Gosh. Just yeah.
Praise the claw.
Here we are with Bishop Webb, you guys.
Yes. That was a little intro video.
Nice little intro video to the Holy Order of the Claw.
Joe liked it.
Yeah, it is actually fire.
Yeah. Bishop Webb, welcome, man. How are you doing today?
How you doing, Bishop?
You know, I've been blessed with a beautiful sunny day here in Indiana. Can't ask for a better day, honestly.
Is
That's
that
awesome.
rare in Indiana to get a nice, beautiful day like that? Is it normally like cloudy? Or I don't really know much about Indiana.
No, not too rare, just typical weather.
Oh,
Well, I'll tell you what, we've been blessed with an extremely hot day, so
like every day this week.
it is 90 today, so
Yikes.
we're a little warm, but that's okay. We got the AC pumping. We're ready to go.
We got ACs, we got fans, and we got you, bud, which is the most important part
That's all
of
we
all.
need.
So, to anybody who is, new to what we've been announcing, this is Bishop Webb of the he's over here, of the
There he
Holy
is.
Order of the Claw. Bishop, why don't you tell us exactly what is the Holy Order of the Claw?
Well, the Holy Order of the Claw is basically an organization that was put together in order to bring our Lord and Savior into this world through a physical means. And that would include getting a hold of a lobster and helping it along its journey, helping it molt. And as you all know, lobsters keep growing as they grow older.
Yes.
So eventually it'll be the size of a Leviathan, a Godzilla-like creature, if you will. And
Kaiju.
that way
yes.
we have brought a living God into this world.
A living God. You hear that? That's crazy.
What is your role in the church? What do you?
Yeah,
Where
where
do
do
you
you
hold
stand?
yourself in the church?
Well, currently I am the only official bishop. My main role in the church is the clergy side of things, the scripture side of things, and all around, mainly the church. My business isn't necessarily helping raise this God into the world, but more of a shepherd kind of role.
And you like write the scriptures and everything. So you basically like create the word.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool though.
So write sermons, you're like you said, you're more the spiritual side. So you kind of stay away from the physical, say, raising of the lobster and focus more on the meaning
the
behind
guidance and everything.
it. What the,
Exactly.
That's very interesting. I mean,
I wouldn't even know where to begin writing something like that. You
Yes.
know, starting a whole church is that's kind of a mind-blowing idea for me.
Well, the main thing is for the scripture, all we have really wanted to do is put more of the guidelines rather than more akin to like a Bible, or more like, hey, here's some good ideas about how you may want to live your life. Not trying to be too strict, not trying to make people guilt trip people to following a belief system. More just carefree and, be a good person. That's mainly all the scripture says.
I think that's admirable. An
That's
admirable
very
way
admirable.
to look at it. So are there any other heads of the church, or is it just you?
So there used to be 3, myself and 2 others who are no longer affiliated with the church. And then it grew to be 5 out of some, our council decided it should be 5 to break ties and, all that sort of a thing. But I'm pretty sure a lot of those members aren't affiliated anymore as well. So we're kind of in a weird purgatory right now with that. So hopefully more info will be coming soon.
Okay,
so look out for that.
So for right now, you're like pretty much the head of the church. So you are the one that came up with the concept, though. You conceptualized the church and.
No.
Interesting.
No. So the original person, believe her name was Katie.
Mm-hmm.
She started this Facebook group with just her and several of her friends, and then one day it just exploded, getting thousands of new members a day. It was kind of getting ahead of her, couldn't really control it by herself very well. So she hired a bunch of moderators who took this kind of to the next level. And how I became affiliated was I happened to come across this page myself, and I'm like, you know what? This could be big. This could be a very cool thing. So I created a website for them, and then they were impressed with it, and they brought me into the fold as well, and here we are today.
Yeah,
so,
that's how we found you at the
website.
Yeah.
I did hear that it started as somewhat of a lobster husbandry group. Is that true, or was that something I was just reading through the people?
I can't verify that, to be honest.
Just curious, because I was reading some posts.
I think there might have been a subgroup about that.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
Okay, so it started kind of off as a lot of people just caring for lobsters, and then it became, you know what? Let's make a fucking god. I love that.
I love the idea behind it. I do. I think it's such an interesting concept.
I think it is too. It seems like very like a real.
Well, like a real world possibility. Like that's the thing. Like I honestly learned through the research of this that lobsters could grow like indefinitely. Like I actually didn't even know that fact. Until Joe brought it to us, but
I had heard that, but I didn't realize that it was. I didn't realize that they didn't die of old age. I knew they grew indefinitely, but I didn't realize that it was infinite, basically, which is kind of a mind blowing
concept. This is so weird
to just be able to grow and live forever.
Well, obviously it's theoretical, of course. Nothing like this has ever been done before, so we don't really know the limits of the science behind this yet. So that's what the group's trying to do. We're trying to learn.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So you're the bishop of the church. Is there an official name for the person who cares for the lobster or lobsters?
There is not. Well, actually, yes, I was wrong. I believe we just call them the keeper of the lorb.
The keeper of the lorb. I
like
love
that. Well, let's define lorb for the people who are just curious about it. What does lorb mean?
The lorb means everything. It is literally everything. The Lord was here before everything, and the universe is kind of emanated out of the Lord, and everything you see is a part of the Lord. The Lord is infinite. The Lord is the universe.
The Lord is the Lord.
The Lord
is
everything.
Okay, so the church is about a year old. Has it become a legal entity? Are you guys trying to become a legal entity?
We have tried that in the past. It became pretty political rather quick with like who would be the one to file the paperwork, because whoever would file the paperwork would be the the legal
owner, the true head.
Owner of it.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. It just got political. Actually, we had a schism over that. We had a couple members who I won't name names. They took control of the group for a while. They ousted a lot of people, myself included. They created their own brand, created their own website, which was mainly just to sell merch rather than anything else. They were in it
to
for
support
the money.
The true Lorb.
Yeah, they didn't have the spiritual depth to grasp the concept. They were just in it for the money,
which could be said about many religions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
like it's definitely
a very big thing.
It definitely can be said about a few other religions that we've got on our planet. So
I mean, hopefully eventually you guys are able to do that, because that would be awesome to have all the power that comes with something like that to become a legal entity and like you said in the video, just ordain people and everything.
Well, we can do a lot of the things that a church can do without all the legal stuff like taxes and whatnot, like we can donate to charity, we can organize community events, we can do all that regardless of our legal status.
Okay.
So I think that's really slowed down our will, so to speak, to do that.
Hey, well, a slowdown isn't a halt, though, so that's the main thing. That
well, yeah, and like you said, they can still kind of do what they want to do, what they need to do, in order to pass the message along, without it, I guess, becoming too political.
Somebody said, "Hi, Trenton, Lobman Paul from the FB group here." So, hello from them, if you recognize that name. Lobman.
I do.
Lobman. The admin, the Lobster admin.
Lobster
the Lobman. Lobman Paul. Good to see you, Lobman Paul.
I do love all of the little shortening of words that you guys have. I think it's
yeah. I had
a lot of it's so creative.
Oh, I don't have my other notebook here, but I had a notebook with all like the shorthand and the names for everything. So we can get into that because those are it's really creative with all the different names for things that you guys have. So. Is there one lorb or is there many? Do you guys have multiple lobsters? Do you guys have any lobsters or?
So yes, there are multiple lorbs. Not all of them are affiliated with the church, but it is kind of a trick question because the physical lorb, the physical lobsters people are carrying, are not the actual lorb yet.
They would become the lorb once they grow into the lorb there. So essentially you're just caring for children of the earth until you kind of groom them for success, and hopefully one will become the lorb.
The physical manifestation of the lorb?
The physical manifestation of the lorb, if the church succeeds.
Precisely, yes.
What happens though in the case that there are multiple that grow to that size? If you have 3 or 4 carriers that grow LLGs, and LLG stands for Leviathan Lobster God.
Yes.
So what happens if there are multiple LLGs that come into existence?
Well, as I was explaining earlier, how the true lorb themselves are infinite. There can be an infinite number of vessels for them to fill. So there really is no, they're not going to fight each other or, anything like that. If there end up being multiple Leviathans, then there end up being multiple Leviathans.
So there's no downside to having multiple LLGs at all. Just more love to spread through the lorb across the world.
Precisely, yes.
Yeah. What's the church's pantheon though? Are there other gods in this world besides the lorb?
No, there is only the lorb. They may manifest themselves in various ways and in various other forms, but at the end of the day, there is only the lorb.
Well, I did see in one post that crabs were the heralds to the lorb. There were cherubs, if you will, for the lorb. So there are kind of like little dudes, but there are no true other lorbs. This is a one lorb church, if you will.
Precisely.
We noticed that on the Instagram page that you guys also like scorpions. Is that
like land?
And I saw on another post that it said that exoskeleton, pretty much anything with an exoskeleton would be an ally. Does that include like all land creatures with exoskeleton? Like would an ant or another insect like a spider be cool in the church's eyes?
Well, all living creatures are manifestations of the Lord, and therefore all living creatures are holy in and of themselves. We do like to pay closer attention to animals that may most closely resemble the Lord, but they officially hold no higher status than any other living creature.
I see. So, they still mean much in the eyes of the Lord, but that they don't surpass him in any way or potentially.
Well, it seems like the Lord is everything. Like the Lord is kind of like
he is within
the
us
all-known
all.
deity. Yeah. At the root of every living thing.
The Lord is the universe.
It is the universe,
okay,
right?
I see.
Yeah.
So why a lorb though? Why lobsters as opposed to other potential immortal or ever-growing animals like a jellyfish
or crocodiles, right?
Or crocodiles or flatworms, other things that are potentially immortal and could grow to Leviathan-like sizes.
Well, I would say that probably just comes down to logistics. A lorb is easier to maintain than those other creatures. Jellyfish are, you know, too touchy. They might require a certain setup that might not be easy to attain. Lobster is just easier.
If the lore is in everything, then at the end of the day, you know, it really would just come down to
with the base
logistics.
idea that the lorb is everything, right? It would kind of transcend any ant creature. Like if we're the lorb too, right? Like it transcends any sort of physical manifestation.
Zach, you take care of me. Eventually, I could become the lorb. I'll be an LLG
yeah,
for
we
you.
could all. We already are all the lorb.
Are there any? I mean, I know you said the lorb is within all living creatures, but are there any creatures that are considered evil in the eyes of the lorb? Are there any like demon-esque deities in the church's pantheon?
The concepts of good and evil do not exist with our theology.
Ooh, I like that. So is there any judgment that can be passed in any sense at all within the church?
No.
No. So it's kind of a do what makes you happy, you know, be yourself.
And all loving, yeah.
As long as you're not harming anyone else, you are to live your life.
So
Cool.
besides the aiding the growth of the Lord and trying to bring him into a physical manifestation on the earth, does the church have any other goals?
So currently, I believe we are donating to several charities. It's not really a goal per se as much as it is just a recurring thing we do. Yeah, other than that, there is no real goal besides maybe attain legal status. No, I was just going to say we aren't really too keen on conversion, or like if the growth happens, it'll happen naturally.
Yeah.
We aren't going to, you know, go out in the streets with picket signs.
Bring the Lord! Bring the Lord!
I like that though, because then it means you kind of join on your own accord because
Yeah.
you want.
You find the church
You
and
find it,
you
right.
decide if
Yeah.
it's for you and how you feel about the Lord and you guys' beliefs. I like that.
If it fits your truth, then we would be more than welcome to have you. Just like the Buddha said, he said, just because I say it doesn't mean you take it to be true. You have to do your own soul searching, and if it makes sense with you, then great. If it doesn't, move on.
And I think that's a very beautiful way to look at life in general,
so,
you
yeah.
know.
Agreed.
Even if it's the most important person to you in your life, you shouldn't take everything they say to heart, you know. It's up to you to decide your own path in life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed. We are our own individuals, and we all live life differently with different ideals and a different path we all take. And yeah, sometimes certain beliefs fit what we see fit for our lives, and I
Especially
like that for
as we
for
grow.
religious movements because I think that's very fitting. I'm sorry, James. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying, especially as we grow, you know,
Sure,
we
of course.
change so much in our life. So,
Yeah.
speaking of your beliefs, I understand that you have holy commandments for the church that were posted on your website. Do you mind if we read some of those out? Do you mind if we read the holy commandments?
Please go ahead.
The first holy commandment, the clod one, the holy shellfishedness, is a genderless being. They are above our archaic constructs of gender. Any genderization of the clod one is a sin. So speaking of sins, are there mortal sins of the church? Is there anything that the church truly views as blasphemous? I mean, I know we were talking about how it's not really the church's place to judge or have a sense
yeah, and
of
as long as you're a
evil
nice
or
person,
right.
you said earlier too.
Exactly.
But what kind of does that
entail? Is there a
like
line?
Murder is obviously
Yeah.
something that I would say would go against the ideals of your church. Is there anything else that's kind of like a mortal? I don't want to say sin, but like
It's a mortal. You
sin,
say
yeah.
mortal sins, you know, the big seven.
So when we use the word sin, it's not used in the traditional sense. If you were to sin, there's not a special place in the metaphysical realm waiting for you to punish you.
okay.
It's more just like, kind of like, hey, stop what you're doing, rethink. Think about this for a second. It's like with this first commandment here, it's like, do you really think that an all-knowing, omnipresent deity really cares about something as basic and simple as gender? That's really what we mean. Yeah, that's really what we mean by sin. It's just like, stop for a second, think about what you're doing. And obviously we didn't include murder in the commandments, so,
Yeah.
you know, more heinous acts. But, you know, that's just kind of like, goes without thinking. Like, come on, don't
Sure.
kill people, don't harm
Yeah.
people.
Right, of course.
I mean,
of
that
course.
leads right into the second of the commandments, is to treat everyone how they would like to be treated. And I like that you guys really
Yeah.
specified on how they would like to be treated, as opposed to, you know, the classic adages, treat people how you would like to be treated, because a lot of people wouldn't like to be treated the same way you would, you know? Treat people how they would want to be
Precisely, yes.
treated. Very, very deliberate, and I think that's wonderful. So for the third one, also kind of plays into that, is the third holy commandment, love thyself, which I think is another wonderful thing, is that, you know, make sure you're nice to everybody, including yourself. You know, you're always your harshest, you know, your most harsh critic.
Yep.
You're always more hard on yourself than anybody else, and you're the only person that could really understand everything that you've been through. So it's extremely important to love
Exactly.
yourself, you know?
You yourself, as much as anybody in the universe, deserve your love and respect.
More so than I think anybody else. You know, you should love yourself first and foremost. Make sure you're okay, because if you can love yourself, that means you can open yourself to love others more freely and more openly. So for the fourth commandment, treat and love every day, knowing that our lives are free from rubber band restraints. So I was really curious about this one, because are rubber bands considered a punishment, or are they considered like bindings to break free from, or how are they viewed in the church?
Well, really, it's kind of a metaphor. That's really just saying, you know, like, just be thankful for what you have, because there are a lot of people less fortunate than you are. Wake up every day and just try to feel blessed that you're not in someone else's shoes. But yes, rubber bands themselves within the church, this brings us to another theological point we have, is that the whole purpose of our lives is to eventually become the best person that you can be, help as many people as you can, and eventually you're going to go through a process that we call the Great Molt. And what the Great Molt is it can happen several times. It can happen during your lifetime, or it will happen the day you die, when you finally molt this mortal coil and become one with the Lord, when your divinity will join with the Lord's divinity and you live forever with them.
You said that was the final molt. But you also touched on that you could go through life change. I think I remember seeing this in one of your videos as well. That you can go through changes throughout your life, like getting a new job or something, and that can be considered kind of molting yourself and becoming anew.
I think like growing as a person in any way that would change you would be considered a great molt. So I think that's really interesting to view it that way. I think that also is a great way to help other people to be like, you know what, I molted. That was my old self. I've grown. I've changed. I think that's a really amazing way to view that. You know,
it leaves it open to being like, you can better yourself. Like, right? Like, not all people are stuck in their ways. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, like, if you do something that may be considered bad or whatever, anything, you do have the opportunity to kind of redeem yourself or be better. And even if it's not something that bad, you always have room for growth or molting to continue to just get better until you hit the final molt.
Yeah.
And then you move on.
Don't stay stagnant.
Exactly.
Never stay stagnant. So that also, again, these all very well play into each other. Number 5 was shells must be discarded when they are no longer useful, metaphorically as well as physically.
Yeah.
So that ties in perfectly with the great molt and everything that we were just talking about. Don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to molt. It's just part of life.
Don't be afraid of change.
Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to change yourself. If you feel like you're in a rut, if you feel like you're not happy with where you are, you make some moves. Just like Bishop said, don't stay stagnant. There's always room for improvement. There's always a way to get better.
Yeah.
So number 6 of the Holy Commandments, all followers must recycle and work to cut down pollution in order to honor the lobster god. And I think that's an amazing commandment as well. Bring the Lord into a world worthy of his splendor, worthy of his greatness.
This one's a little
excellence.
less metaphorical, though, right? So this is kind of a requirement. If you choose to follow the religion where you have to be more conscious of the earth, I'm guessing since it's in the commandments that it is something that is a requirement of the church, or is that not the case?
So there aren't really requirements per se, as I was kind of touching on earlier. But Try to be cognizant of what's around you. Try to be aware. Hey, the Earth is kind of in a bad place right now.
Agreed.
Just do what you can to help out.
Yeah, I mean the Earth is alive just like any other being. So if you know, as we were saying, the Lord is everywhere. The Lord is within us all, and it's within every living being. So taking care of the planet, you're also taking care of the Lord. You know.
Yeah.
It's not just bringing His physical existence into a world worthy of His splendor. It's, you know, healing His splendor because He is the world.
And
you know,
yourself at the same time.
and yourself at the same time. You know, we're always living in this world.
Yeah,
so
I think it's important for us to,
Take
as
steps.
people, kind of take steps to better what's around us because we we live here.
We live
you know,
here,
It
you
is.
know?
I think it's of some utmost importance that we take care of where we reside and what keeps us alive. So I think that's a good. Claw
amendment.
I want to say claw amendment. Like I think it's a good.
I just love saying claw amendment. It's just a lot of fun.
I love that. I love all of.
the holy shellfishness. Yeah. Claw amendment.
I'll ask that later. Keep going.
So number 7 is no consumption without ceremony. If thou shalt choose to consume a lobster, a piece must be left out for the Lord. As lobsters consume lobsters, so too are we permitted to follow in the god lobster's footsteps. Give thanks and offerings whenever a lobster is consumed. So I think that makes sense. You know, lobsters eat lobsters.
Yeah.
People eat people.
Sure.
You know, it's just like an everyday thing that happens with us all. So are there any
That was too casual.
Yeah, lobsters eat
Slip that
lobsters.
in there too
People eat
casually,
people. It
but-
happens all the time. I'm not wrong.
Sadly not.
But so places, I'm sure you get this question a lot. Places like Red Lobster aren't viewed negatively by the church in any sense because lobsters eat lobsters. People can eat lobsters too. It's just you know, paying respect. You know, using every part of the animal kind of scenario where you know.
That's the important thing, is as long as you're giving thanks. And really it'd be good practice to do this with any meal you have, regardless of if it's lobster or not. Just give a quick little thank you for nourishing my body. Thank you for providing energy so that I may live.
And appreciation.
Respect, appreciation,
So it doesn't
that
necessarily
sort of thing.
just apply to lobster. You're saying generally you could give sacrifice for everything, for any time you're.
Any food you eat, because
food
again,
you eat, just
you know,
because-
bring it right back to the Lord is within every living being. It's
Right.
you know, be thankful for what we have. Be thankful that there's food on your plate. It's warm. It's hot. It's delicious. And you know, praise where it came from, the animal and the people who put work into bringing this to you. You know.
Paul here brought up an interesting point. Places that boil them alive are frowned upon. Is that true?
Absolutely, yes.
It's claimed.
Yeah, that goes into the treat others the way they would like to be treated.
Right. Okay.
A living creature wants to be boiled alive.
Yeah. I mean, there are humane ways to put down a lobster.
I did see
before you
that
eat them.
meme that was on one of your pages that I really liked, where it was the two lobsters standing next to the pot, and there was a baby in the thing, and it was like, it's not screaming, it's just releasing air. It makes
Exactly.
sense though. Like when you actually think about it, that makes sense. Like who would want to be boiled alive? Like if you were in the shoes of any living creature.
Well, now hold on. There's at least one person in this world that wants to be boiled alive. There's gotta
think
be.
so?
Right? Oh, there's at least one.
Well, I'm not going to get in the way of anyone's
Good
fantasies.
times, Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say
what
that
you do
seems more.
behind what you do behind
fantasy
closed
route.
doors is all you. If you want to be boiled alive, buddy, you do you. That's also part of the church's commandments. Like if that's
Yeah,
how
you
you want to
could-
be
yeah.
treated, there's the pot, buddy.
Go for it.
Making me some witch's brew. Number 8 and the final holy commandment: no raw broccoli on Thursday. Now, is there
Yeah,
a
this is
reason
an
for
interesting
that?
one.
Why?
Yeah, I'm
why?
very
why?
curious about
why?
this one.
Well, let's start with why broccoli.
Well, this is kind of where we get into the parody side of our faith is, we look around at, let's say, I won't name any names, but there's another very similar tenet in a very common religion, the Ten Commandments. We're just looking at these, and a lot of them, there's like, where did this come from? Like, what are you guys talking about? And so we're like, oh, it would be fun if we had something like that in ours. Just throw in a random funny thing.
Well, I think it's nice that I don't want to say you don't take it too seriously, because you definitely do, but you're kind of aware of yourselves, right? Like, and I love that. It makes it so much more inviting. And
yeah, it's not that you guys aren't taking yourself seriously; it's that you're very playful with it.
Yes,
you know?
and I love that.
You
like
understand.
The Instagram page is great.
Yeah, the Instagram page is great. The Twitter's super funny. I love the Twitter.
Right. And while there is some parody to it, the core beliefs are great.
very real.
They're
they're very real.
and
They're very positive.
Yeah.
They're very accepting of everybody and how how the world really should be, how we should be looking at everything. I think if people had as much love in their hearts as the church wants them to, the world would be such an amazing place.
Absolutely, it would.
That was all of the Holy Commandments. Very wonderful. I have one more question on the broccoli. You said so. We asked why broccoli, but why Thursday as well? Is there like a specific reason why Thursday of all days? I really like broccoli, and
he's just curious.
I don't want to give it up on Thursday.
Well, nobody likes Thursdays, so it just makes Thursday a little easier knowing that you don't have to eat any raw broccoli.
It does. I was thinking about the other day. I was like, man, I'm gonna be back on work. I'm gonna have to work like every day. On Thursdays, I gotta fucking eat raw broccoli. Like, god damn it! But now that I've joined the church,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You're free of that.
Oh god, yes.
The shackles have been, or
Thank
the rubber
the
bands have
Lord.
been clipped for you. I love it.
So that's great. I really like that we can have fun. With it's not all seriousness. Like, oh yeah, besides the good beliefs and stuff, we also have to do this and blah blah blah. It's a very lighthearted approach to everything.
Yes. Question on the commandments is I was reading somewhere, I believe you said they're not totally set in stone. Is there other ones that you were thinking about bringing on, or is it still kind of a work in progress, or are these the final commandments?
They're always a work in progress. If some inspiration comes to us, or if someone has a good suggestion, send it through email or something like that, then I can talk with the fine folks in the church and see if we would like to include that officially or not. Definitely not set in stone. I think we went through probably 4 drafts. I think we had like 13 at one point.
Ooh, so there are
then
hidden
like,
commandments.
let's just make this somewhere. It's like, let's just make this a little simpler. Like instead of having a list of specific things, just have like a few general ideas.
Yeah,
and I do like that because the chat's even kind of bringing it up here. Like, the religion, the movement itself has an opportunity to molt.
Yes.
Like, it's always changing.
The religion,
it's always growing,
molts with the people that are molting with it.
It all fits so nicely together. It like, as you kind of talk about it more too, it kind of, a lot of it makes a lot of sense, and it all fits together nicely.
Absolutely. I can see a lot of work was put into the church. So what you're saying is there's like a dusty hard drive somewhere with hidden secret commandments, huh?
The unreleased.
The unreleased version, yeah. The director's cut of the commandments.
The Snyder version.
This is Snyder cut.
The Snyder commandments. So hey, maybe we'll do another interview and potentially those could be found, and we can read a couple extra of the hidden commandments.
You hear that? If anybody has them.
It's possible.
So here's.
I think I'm looking at the computer right now that has them.
Ooh.
Oh, he has them.
Oh, he has.
Oh.
They're in a vault. He's got a lobster claw shaped vault in the back of his closet. It's like it's like holding the hard drive in its hands, and you have to put in the combination to release the claw.
I like that. You put in the lobster key. It's
How
like
do
a
you know what my
skeleton
closet looks like?
I saw it in a vision of the Lord.
key. The secret doctrine of the.
You got to put in like a fish the same size and weight as it, and slip it out really quick,
like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Or a big lobster slides out of his closet and grabs you. The secret doctrine of the Order of the Claws.
Yeah. It's going to be a tome in
it's gonna be
3,000 years. Somebody's going to dig it up and be like, oh.
It's just like bits of fish food, and it's not even dust. Like, so here's kind of a big question: do you consider the church to be a cult?
To me personally, the lines blur for me between cult and religion.
Mm-hmm.
When we call ourselves a cult, we get more shock value and it's more entertaining.
Yes.
So I think that's really what we're going for.
It is definitely a punch word. People really like cult. You know, if somebody's check out this cult, you're immediately interested. If somebody's like, hey, would you like to see this church? People are like, well.
I feel like church also has the opposite effect, where like if you call something a church, a lot of people get immediately turned off to it.
Yes.
Where I mean, I guess
they
cult
have
too.
negative connotations.
Yes, churches do, and I mean even cult does.
Cult definitely.
But like
has
you
some
said,
negative
it does at least have the shock value, where like, oh, now I'm a little interested.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little. Church, you kind of
But
think.
at least people in cults have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say they don't have a good fun.
No, these people in cults have fun. I love that.
That is actually
That's
a fact.
great. That's really funny.
So I think that's the next question, though, right? Is there any issues with that you guys have with that?
Yeah,
I know you guys seem to on your social media kind of hint at it sometimes, or kind of poke fun at the fact that it's a cult, or you call it a cult. Is that a problem for you guys, or like I know you said that it had the shock value, but
has it potentially? Has it potentially affected again becoming a legal entity as well, calling yourself a cult? Do you think that would affect that in any way?
No, other actual cults have become legally recognized entities. I won't name any names, but with the word itself, no, we don't have people seeming to take issue with it. We do have like trolls in the comments, like, oh, like repent for Jesus, just crap like that. But other than that, no, we don't really have any issues.
Okay, so it hasn't hindered you in any way. And I mean, with anything, I think on the internet these days specifically, you're gonna get trolls.
You're gonna get trolls. You're gonna get people that want to fuck with you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to.
It doesn't matter how serious or how funny you take it. People are gonna come in just to mess with you because that's just kind of how people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just said, even we got them.
It's a necessary evil, right? Exactly. I mean, even we deal with it.
Yep.
On Twitch and stuff.
So speaking of trolls coming in, I remember in one video. You mentioned the Starship Trooper raids, and that got me really curious because that's all you said about it. You were just like, as you guys know, we've been dealing with the Starship Trooper raids. Yeah. And I was like, well, no, hold on a second, Bishop.
Explain yourself,
Let's
please.
do a rewind on that shit. Starship Trooper raids?
I just had like Vietnam flashbacks. But there was a point in time in the church's youth. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Starship Troopers.
Oh, yes. I love the movie.
The very core concept in the movie is that they hate bugs. Mm-hmm. There was another group, Starship Trooper themed, and they were just a bunch of trolls.
It was just like a Starship Trooper fan page?
Shit posting page. So just trolls.
Just trolls,
mostly. Just like
congregation of Starship Trooper trolls.
That's such a...
Yeah, they would join our group, and they would just spam the comments, kill the bug. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all. Just
very specific. I'm from Buenos Aires.
So
kill the fucking bugs.
Yeah.
He had to introduce himself where he's like, hi, I'm Paul from Buenos Aires, and I hate bugs. It's nice to meet you all.
It got pretty bad. We couldn't quite keep up with the flood of them. But, like hatred and, general stupidity, they're both pretty weak. Eventually, they're just going to get tired. And they'll lose their fervor. Mm-hmm. So we just waited them out, and we haven't heard from them since.
That's always the best thing you can do when you're dealing with trolls. All you got to do is just kind of wait them out. You got to wait for them to get bored.
Giving them power by responding in a way that
just plays
that's
into
what they
them more.
want.
Exactly.
Why else would they be trolling if they didn't want to incite some response?
You got to take their fun away.
I think that's the positive way to go about it.
That's so funny though.
Right.
Starship Troopers is such like a weirdly specific franchise to come from. Like, yeah, we're a Starship Troopers.
Makes sense.
It makes sense for the bugs, but to have a pre-existing group of Starship Troopers ship posters prepped to go, like that's such a niche.
And I will say that I never. I guess now that we're talking about it more, I never looked at lobsters as like insects. I guess I looked at them as sea creatures, which separated it enough for me. For like, oh yeah, they kind of look like bugs, but
they're in
water, so I never really thought of them as bugs.
Yeah, I mean,
are they scientifically linked?
They're
or at least as far as we know.
Yeah, they're.
I'm not exactly sure.
invertebrates, right?
Invertebrates?
Yeah, they're all invertebrates. They're all
Crustaceans.
yeah, they all have
Yeah, see, that's what I.
exoskeletons. So I think that
I would
they're
put them
kind
in
of
a-
related.
in
A lot
maybe
of
a more
people
general
call a lot of shellfish that like, oh, you're eating
Water
sea
bugs.
bugs,
Yeah.
water bugs, because you're eating like
Yeah.
shrimp, crabs, stuff like that. Which, if people think that way, you're a fool because they're delicious. If you guys are scared of the ocean bugs, give them a shot because they're very tasty and they're
I've heard the
pretty
same
cool
about
animals.
land bugs.
yeah. Well, I haven't. I've heard land bugs are just like crispy goo on the inside. Like I think they're like made up of slightly different thing. Like it definitely seems
Well, see,
like
that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're very separate. I feel like they're very different creatures. The only thing that kind of to me is similar is that exoskeleton and the legs.
yeah, because I
think.
think that lobsters and a lot of other sea crustaceans have like muscles inside of their exoskeleton, but land
Right.
creatures with exoskeletons actually use kind of like hydraulics with their blood to move.
Right.
So they are actually kind of more goo on the inside as opposed to muscles and stuff. Like I think they have like ligaments and hydraulics that are controlled.
And complicated organs and
Yeah.
brains and
Right.
yeah, they're
So
yeah.
they're a lot more separated than you think, but they are very similar in quite a few senses. It's I
Right, yeah.
guess just like humans and mermaids would be. You would think that we'd look similar and stuff, but who knows? They could be like
I thought you meant in taste.
that too. They
I
might.
was like, well, you
they
would
might
know,
be
bud.
very delicious. Have you ever
I
tried
thought
a
a
mermaid?
mermaid would taste good.
I bet a mermaid would be delicious because it would be literally like chicken of the sea, like pork of the sea. They'd be like they taste like delicious fish that they've been
Okay,
eating,
okay.
lots of meat.
Question: would you eat the fish half or the human?
I'd
half?
eat all of it.
Or the middle half where it's kind of split in the middle.
Well, I would eat all of it. I would eat the whole mermaid.
Yeah. You gotta try everything once.
Yeah, you gotta. The cheeks are the best part. You save that for the king and queen at the table. You're gonna see me snacking on a mermaid short rib. I would down a mermaid so fast. You don't even know how fast I would eat a mermaid.
Just off of looks alone, huh? You don't even know.
My mouth's watering right now. It just sounds delicious.
It's a lot of meat too.
Um,
That's enough to
feed
share.
me
About.
for a month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you
freeze it.
Yeah,
just
you
gotta
just put
freeze
it. Yeah, you cut it up into sections. I have the ribs one night. Save the head for later.
That would be a cool thing though, to have that middle piece where
Mermaid
like
wings.
it's literally half one meat and then half.
Yeah,
Fish,
like
that would be a
half
cool
mainly
meal.
fish, half kind of humany fish.
Yeah.
Probably be a pain in the ass to scale a whole mermaid, though. all right, enough of eating mermaids. So, despite the trolls that you guys in the church gets, it seems like you guys have like a really wonderful community. I've been on the Facebook page. We went on the Instagram the first time we saw you guys, and it seems like everybody's really friendly.
Aside from the Starship Trooper.
Aside from the
trolls.
Starship Trooper trolls, it seems like everybody's really friendly.
Yeah.
Really willing to like post memes and help out on the church and stuff. We saw that recently you guys had an album and an EP released. It was songs dedicated to the Lord. I listened to it. It was actually fucking fire. It was really good.
the one. I think the song that we played for the intro was on there. At least the one I listened to. I listened to the one on Facebook.
I don't remember hearing that song. You're talking about the beat from the video?
Mm-hmm. At least I found one with 3 songs on it. It was on Bandcamp, and that was one of the songs.
That must
on
have been the EP. The album. I listened to the album. And you guys had another album
It is
potentially
really good,
coming
though,
out in October, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So where do these songs come from? Are they?
Right? Is it a compilation of artists, or is it like among the church admins? Or
It's definitely crowdsourced. People submit their songs. I think a few of them are from the Modmans, actually. I think the one you played for the intro is actually one of our admins. So yeah, everyone chips in. I mean, you get the best stuff that way. Once you submit to like 100,000 people, it's like, hey, we need some music.
Mhm.
You're going to get some pretty good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that goes great both ways because small artists potentially could be promoting their songs through the church, and the church gets all these
Yeah,
wonderful
exactly.
songs to show everybody. And all the songs were, like we said, they're fucking dope. They're all great, great music.
The ones I listened to, apparently I missed the album. I didn't even see that. So you're gonna have to show me
there
that
was
after.
two. Yeah, there was two.
Because I watched one. I listened to one on Bandcamp, and I was like, oh, it only has 3 songs. and they were all really good.
Yeah, though the first
so now
song,
I want to hear the rest of them.
The first song, Crustacean Bay, is really good. I listen to that song a lot, actually. I think it's really, it's like funny, but it's also like a good song. And Just Like You was my second favorite because I just really like that song as well. But yeah, make sure you guys check out that album because it's actually really good. So since you guys are setting up another album, does that mean you guys have like a lot of songs incoming? How do you guys decide which songs to put on the album or save for the next one? Or
That unfortunately isn't really my department. I think we have a few armchair musicians that kind of get together and decide what's going to go on and what's not.
okay,
And also, it also just depends on how many we get. No, even with as many followers as we have, we are lucky to get the submissions we get. So really, it just depends on how many we get.
that's really cool though that you guys have so many amazing artists just willing. Like I
know.
said, you guys have like a really great community. I love how welcoming everybody is. Everybody's super friendly.
Yeah, that plays right back into everything we saw. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody seems to be together on the cause, and I love that.
And the memes are really funny.
The memes are
actually.
really good. The memes are good. The songs are good. You guys have a talented community too.
Yeah, it's not even just that. It's like a wonderful, like really sweet, nice community. You have like a lot of really talented people who are just all about the church, and you guys grew so fast too. Like the church is a year old as of June 12th, I think. And you guys have like over 100,000 followers. Are you
one
guys
of the pages? Yeah.
yeah. Are you guys surprised with the growth of the church?
No, not really. A good meme will grow, and it'll grow fast.
So was that the result of something going viral, or was that just she posted? I remember you said somebody else started it, and then it just kind of blew up from there. Or like as people came in, was there like a turning point that made it blow up? Like what happened? How did that happen?
I can't think of any one event specifically that really blew up. I think it was just like a snowball effect. It's like
It's a lot of word of mouth. You guys hear about this Lobster Leviathan god?
right. People sending invite links, and then it was just like all of a sudden one day we couldn't keep up with all the
influx.
people trying to join. Yeah, and then we were like, oh crap, we need to get on this. We need to start making some socials. We need a YouTube. We need a Twitter. All that.
So you were a part of it before it blew up then? Like you were kind of there for the whole, like watching it grow?
I started to ride the wave a little bit. I think I joined when the group was a few months old. I think we probably had like 30,000 members or something like that.
That's
still not close, but it definitely wasn't unpopular when I got it.
I remember in one of the videos on the one of the YouTube channels, you even say like, "Oh yeah, we have more followers than I have in my town right now."
Yeah, that's crazy thinking about.
Yeah, that's such a mind-blowing concept to imagine you could have a small city of followers just from the church. Just people dedicated to the Lord, the Lord town.
Yeah, maybe we should get on that.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's the next thing is to buy a city. I like that idea. I'd live there.
I'd live there too.
All right. Check out the GoFundMe. We're gonna need it.
It's in the links in the chat.
I mean, that rolls right into our next question is if the church continues to grow, especially at this pace, would you guys consider actually purchasing a physical place of worship for the Lord? Would you want a place where you can keep the Lord or multiple Lorbs for people to come and visit and pray and do whatever they want? Maybe just like a chill place to hang out and, like a safe place for people to be?
Probably not. We're not really that concentrated. We have people all over the place, mostly America, but also a lot in Europe and like South America. Yeah, we're pretty spread thin at the moment. But if we were to get like 5 million followers, that's probably when we'd be like, okay, maybe we should look into that. But yeah, we're not big enough.
So it's not out of the question. It's just
Right.
if
Just not ready yet.
just not there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
What would your ideal place of worship be? Would you guys like buy a local aquarium potentially, or would you want more of a place for the goers of the church where people could just be themselves and hang out and potentially do like fundraisers, support your charity causes, stuff like that? Or
it probably would just be like a hangout. There'd probably be a couple offices where the moderators and people like that could work full time.
People running the pages, stuff like that.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it wouldn't be like a traditional church setting. It would just be people hanging out. There'd be some drinks, just typical
Yeah, some drinks.
TV. Yeah, just whatever.
Is there a drink of the Lorb? Is there a salt water mixed with vodka and krill?
No. We cannot condone the use of alcohol, unfortunately.
I guess, yeah, I suppose as a church, you could have a holy beverage, they have the wine.
Yeah, wine for
the blood of the Lord. It could be their blood is blue, right?
Well, you know what? I just heard about this the other day in Vietnam. Apparently, one of their delicacy drinks is lobster blood and sake.
Well, that definitely, that's definitely a way to use all the body. If you're going to eat the lobster anyways, might as well use its blood in a delicious bloody beverage, a bloody Mary, if you will. A bloody
You're just using what you got.
Yeah, use every bit. Why not, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would extract lobster blood. That seems like such a crazy concept to me. Do you put a little lobster IV into its claw?
No idea.
Somebody said the ocean would be a great place. I think that'd be cool if you could buy what's that place in the middle though? I think it's called Ocean Land. It's just a small thing in the middle of the ocean. It's a couple platforms or something like that that somebody owns, and it's technically its own country out in the middle of the ocean. Sealand, yeah. I knew it was something like that. Sealand.
I didn't know about that either.
Yeah, that'd be dope if you could own Sealand, and then if the Lord continues to grow, you could keep him right under Sealand. I think that'd be
in the ocean. In the ocean.
That'd be a good idea. I should try to get in touch with those folks.
Yeah, see if they're willing to accept the church on their lands. I'm sure they got the space for it.
I'd never heard about that until now, and I think that's very fitting. That would be impossible to travel to visit, but I think it would be a great home for the Lord. The physical manifestation of
that'd be crazy.
Lord.
Like in that the Godzilla movie when they have that oil rig and they go underneath and they have that big window where they can see Godzilla. Can you just imagine just a big window opening and you see giant lobster like Abira or what's that other one? Artemis, I think.
What movie?
Those are lobster kaiju. So there's two lobster kaijus. One of them's called Abira and the other's Artemis, I think. They're just massive lobsters, really cool. In one of the church's YouTube videos, you did mention that there was a group called the Lobster God Divine Scripture. There was a clergy that accepted new members into the church. And you did mention that they were unfortunately, I think, temporarily disbanded. Has there been any news of them? Are they coming back, or is there potentially other ways that people could try to join the church in a more official capacity?
Now, I could be wrong here, but I believe that group is defunct. I don't think there's a lot going on there anymore, or maybe the page was even deleted. But yeah, that was in the very early stages of the group. We were trying to crowdsource writers and things like that, people to you could put things more eloquently than maybe I or someone else could. But that kind of became political too. Everyone started just caring about titles. So yeah, I don't think that group is as big of a part of the church anymore. It also just got too chaotic. People were just writing whatever they wanted, and then they were posting it and saying that was the official thing when it hadn't been approved or even talked about. So it was just everyone using what little power they had to try to gain more of it and more influence. So yeah, unfortunately, it's just it's gone now.
Did they just disband, or did they try to create their own lobster-orientated churches? We did notice that there was a few other churches and YouTube channels and stuff dedicated to lobster, lobster god, lobster leviathan lords, things like that. So is that also them, members of the church that are disgruntled, or new people that had heard of the church and want to start their own thing, or?
Yeah, a bit of a mixture of all that. A lot of those people that were in the scripture group, I think they just kind of left on their own accord, most of them, because they weren't getting the traction they thought they would. or they were even just banned because they were just acting erroneously.
Yeah.
And so they thought, I'm going to take what little following I have and take it to another platform.
So the people who aren't from the church that just saw it and created their own thing, do you have any contact with them? Like, have they messaged you and been like, oh, well, I stared a YouTube channel,
or do you work together with any of them? Is there any kind of connection between them?
No, there is not. I think there might be one YouTube page I'm forgetting the name of, but I think that was one of our own people. I think they posted a few things that we thought were entertaining. I'm forgetting the name right now, but I think that's the only exception. The biggest rival we have, we definitely don't contact them because they aren't very savory people.
I see. So there is other sects that how do I say
are
it?
uninvolved with
the
church.
That kind of uninvolved.
Pretty much all of them are.
Okay, so any of the official ones are all in your link tree. Those are the ones that people can go visit.
Because you guys are
and know are official.
Are the main church. You guys are the first ones who started this, and if people want to do their own thing with the Lobster God, I think that power to them. But you guys were the first ones.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's part of the church's
right,
beliefs.
But if you do want to if you want to be part of the official group, then just stick to kind of whatever's in the link tree if you're interested. And you said you had a website, so the Holy Order of the Claw.com.
Yeah,
yes.
holyorderoftheclaw.com.
Yeah, so that would be their official one if anybody's curious.
So speaking of the website, we saw that the website says that you guys offer confessions. Do you guys still do confessions on the website?
Yeah, no one's ever asked me to do one, but the day someone does, I'll be down to hear it.
That's interesting. I'm surprised nobody's asked to do a confession though. Could you take us?
Yeah, even as a joke.
Yeah, even yeah. So could you take us through how a confession would go? Would you know how you would want to start a confession? Like obviously, a Catholic church confession would be
anonymous.
It would be anonymous. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. You know, so on and so forth. How would you if you were doing a confession for us? How would you want to go about it?
Well, it depends on what you guys would want as well. Most of the part, it'd be chill. Like, I imagine most of the time it'd just kind of be more of a joke. Like, I might just listen to you vent about something, just say some encouraging words, say I'm here for you, or just, generally just virtually hang out with someone for a while that might be a little too lonely. It's not really like the traditional sense of like a confession.
And then at the end, you do 12 hail lobsters, you dip your leg into the butter and leave.
Nothing like that, but might be imperative to come up with a closing ceremony like that.
Yeah, I mean I like that though. I think
I like the chill nature of it.
Yeah, I like the chill nature. People can feel comfortable coming in and just be it as a meme or more seriously, they could just come in and have a chat, get something off their chest.
It makes you a little more. It makes you more accessible. It shows that and it doesn't need to be so official like that. Like I would rather confess to somebody who I'm having a couple drinks with than some guy I can't see through a wooden
visor,
wall,
who is gonna judge me later on.
Yeah, who are you? You're right.
Yeah.
He's gonna go to his other priest buddy and be like, "You'll never guess the shit I just heard."
Yeah.
It's crazy. This guy goes to a lobster church.
Yeah. Going back to the other sects, there's a lobster goddess sect that specifically worships a feminine lobster entity.
That's pretty interesting.
And you guys you guys don't have any beef with them. Your buddy Paul here said.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of them personally.
So there's new sects popping up every day.
Yeah,
that's still interesting though. I love that there's like different takes on it.
As it should be, I think.
I think so too. I think
it's nice to have the one, but I think everybody has their own interpretation. Like you were saying, I mean, it goes back to your points earlier. Like everybody has their own path. So if you believe in similar beliefs, but maybe it's more of a feminine.
Yeah, feminine lobster
thing.
god. Maybe the lobster god has a giant crusher claw
and one smaller one.
I mean that's normal, but but only has one giant crusher claw and no pincer claw. The battle god, the battle lobster god, the war lobster god. So the church does still offer confessions. So if you guys would like to give a confession to the church, hit up the website and
you could be the first.
You could be the first. Yeah, who knows?
Unless we take
Might have
that.
something special for the first person.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that to me. I'm gonna
Ooh.
come in late after the stream. I got a lot to confess, Bishop Webb. I'm letting you know.
So besides confessions, you guys also offer baptisms. On the YouTube channel, you guys had a video of the first baptism, but I did see that in one of the other videos that you mentioned that you had done a baptism before that. Was it the same person? Because you did say that you did the baptism, but you wanted to get it on video as well.
Oh yeah, that was the same person.
So you got double baptized. So if
They never got it the first time. Things just kind of fell through. We were out of state. We were all kind of messed up. Yeah, it just never happened. So we sat down and we're like, well, if we are going to do this, we're going to do this right. Let's think about this. Yeah, one day we just decided to get up and do it.
So in the video, it was butter that was used. Is that going to be the tradition?
the
for
official process,
the official
is butter?
process?
Yes. So if you were to do a virtual baptism with me, basically you would just have a tiny little bowl of melted butter next to you, and
Reasonably warm.
you would just like dip it on your forehead or something. I'd say a prayer, or, just words.
Does it matter
And then,
what kind of butter? Salted, unsalted, specific
That's a question
brands?
from chat.
Preferably unsalted.
Unsalted butter? That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I'm going to get butter on me, I don't want salt too.
Yeah. If it's going on your skin, you don't want to rub your skin with salt. So
So in the video, he throws the butter on him, like a lot of butter. That's like I was like,
Yeah, he dumped it on himself.
that's a lot of butter on that man right there.
And you told us earlier it was a nice cold.
Yeah, nice
A cold day.
Just covered in
Oh,
butter.
yeah.
Wait, would you mind telling us the story of that day of the first official baptism of the church?
So, like I said earlier, it was kind of impromptu. We definitely didn't plan it too well. We just decided, like, okay, this is what we generally want. And so I grabbed a filmmaker friend of mine. He's probably credited on that video if you want to look at his stuff. But yeah, we just went to the grocery store and bought, I think, just like 2 tubs of country crock or whatever, melted it in a pan. Oh wait, no, we didn't. It was just butter that was left over in my fridge.
I was gonna say country
That's right,
crock isn't
yeah.
even butter; it's margarine.
Ooh.
Oh crap! We might have to redo it.
Might have to redo it.
But whatever it was, I think it was expired. It wasn't good. Yeah, it was already just like how like the liquid starts to come up and it's like not quite
Oh.
whatever it was
Yeah.
before.
Did it smell?
It's true.
Just smelled like margarine, I guess.
Smelled delicious. I love country crock. Country crock is like my favorite. I think it's so delicious.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, it's the best.
It's
But
really
yeah, we just heated it in a pan. The first shot we didn't get because he reacted to it too harshly because it was super hot.
Yeah.
is
we-
there a recording of that somewhere still?
There might be. There might be.
Ooh.
On that
I
same
can-
hard
I can
drive.
try to-
That same hard drive, yeah.
But yeah, we had to do it the second time. Then I just gave the raw footage to my filmmaker friend, and he's the one who edited it and everything. And I remember he sent it to me at like 11 o'clock that night, and I was dying laughing. The guy who
video's
the guy
great.
who was baptized lives with me, and so like I woke him up. I'm like, man, you gotta see this. Like, this turned out amazing.
Yeah, the video is beautiful. I was thinking while I was watching that, I was like, that's like very nicely edited and everything. Like, it's like a really good official baptism video. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, again, check out the Holy
Check
Order
out
of the
the YouTube,
Church
yeah.
link tree. Check out their videos. The baptism is a great video. It's very funny.
It is, yes.
It's called The First Cleansing.
The
first
first
cleansing.
So they were saying in chat here, if we wanted to do a live baptism,
Do we have butter?
I do have some butter.
Should we melt some butter up really quick? We can melt some.
How willing would you be to do a live baptism on stream? Are you okay with that?
Let's do it.
Okay, let me.
I'll get it. You could.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, please don't make it too hot, bud. Make sure it's actually fucking butter. The finger dip. Is there so kind of run me through the process of the baptism. Is there like a specific way we need to rub the butter? Do I need to like draw a claw on my forehead, or do I have to keep it on for a certain amount of time?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Just do like a general, like, just a small little misshapen C shape on your head.
Just a C and a V.
Just a C, like one side shorter than the other. Just like a claw.
Okay. So you just put the C on there, and then we'll save the words for it for the actual baptism, so people can see it. So yeah, if you guys want to be baptized as well, you still offer video baptisms, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So all they have to do is just schedule a baptism with you, and then you'll just get back with them as soon as possible, and you'd be baptized.
Yeah.
So essentially, this could potentially be an official way for people to join the church right now, right?
Yeah, there is no real official way. If you consider yourself a member, you are a member. But if you want to feel a little more official, then this would be the way to do it.
Get yourself some nice butter, nice lukewarm butter in a bowl. Make sure it's not margarine. And then, okay, here comes the butter. And then contact Bishop Webb at the website, holyorderoftheclaw.com. Schedule your baptism, and you can go through this lovely process just like we're about to. So we've got our butter
we'll
here.
show you what the process is like. Bishop Webb here is gracious enough to do this
Looks
live
a little
on
bit
stream,
like a bowl of pea.
kind of out of the blue here.
Yeah,
so we
we
appreciate you doing that.
Yeah,
I hope we didn't throw it on you.
Yeah,
in
we
any
didn't
way.
let him know that we wanted to do a baptism.
Well, that came through chat. So if you're totally not cool with this, let us know before we start.
Let's do it.
All right.
If you guys are ready.
All right, yeah, we got our butter here. What do we got to do, bud?
All right, just close your eyes. Bow your heads a little bit. I'm going to say some words. As I'm saying the words, you're going to make the shape on your head, and then that'll be it.
Okay.
What was the shape? I missed that.
It's like a C with one side shorter than the other.
a C.
Yeah, kind of like it like this. Like look at me. Kind of like a curly Q almost.
Okay.
One side longer than the
Pull
other.
my hat up. And we
Okay.
do that with the butter, right?
We do that with the butter.
Okay.
Just let me know when you gentlemen are ready.
All
So
right.
do we dip now in the butter?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's do it. Oh, greasy. Oh, it's so oily. Okay,
All right.
let's do it.
Holy Shellfishness, thank you for this beautiful day. I am so ever thankful to have made some amazing friends today, and may this cleansing bear true witness to your divinity. By the power invested in me by the Holy Order of the Claw, I ordain these two men to be ministers in your holy name. Clawmen.
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 Beautiful.
Ooh.
We are now baptized official members
Yes.
of the
Oh,
Holy Order of the
wow.
Claw. Can you get us some napkins?
Feel free to wipe it off at any time.
That's definitely straight butter I just ate. Makes me want some popcorn. Salty. Very salty. Oh my goodness. We definitely should have used unsalted.
Wait, was it
butter.
unsalted?
No, it was very salted. It
Oh,
was
geez.
extra salted. Oh
I
yeah.
only had butter and margarine, so I had to make sure I used the butter.
We're
Ah,
clergy
that-
now, boys.
That was nice.
That was nice. That was very
You
beautiful,
feel-
Bishop. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate that.
Very beautiful, very delicious.
So if anybody else wants
Anytime.
that, I mean, reach out. Yeah, the pimples are optional.
The pimples are optional. I like that.
Well, thank you. Sorry if we put you on the spot, but that was
definitely
nice.
unplanned, but I'm
And it was
very
nice.
happy we
I
got
think it was
through
nice to give people a little taste
Yeah.
of what you can expect.
Okay, so besides baptisms and besides confessions, do you guys offer anything else? What else does the church offer?
Offer to its members or just in general?
In general.
Or both.
Or both, yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, to its members, that's pretty much about it. Besides, a loving community that accepts anyone from all walks of life. The only thing we really do offer to the rest of the world is our charity work, which you can find more info on the Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram, I believe, too. Other than that, that's about it, really.
Okay. And you guys used to do sermons, and you were thinking about bringing the sermons back potentially if it garners more interest, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, awesome. Would you be willing to do a sermon for us?
Absolutely. I do not have it memorized, so I have to pull it up here.
Oh, no worries.
Totally, take your time.
You were saying that the church does help out with charities. I know that Clean Ocean Action.
Yes, before we get into the sermon, you're right.
Clean Ocean Action was one of the charities that you guys were supporting. Was there any other charities in specific, or mainly ocean cleanliness and targeting charities of that sort?
That is the main one, yes.
Okay, so make sure you guys check out Clean Ocean Action. We'll try to post a link for that as well, so you guys can donate if you like, or check out the cause.
Yes.
It's also on their pages in the link tree, so make sure you guys check that out as well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Bishop, whenever you're ready, man, we're good.
All right. Love thyself. These are two very powerful words. Perhaps the most important commandment. But how do we do that? Sometimes it can seem impossible. Have you ever not been able to sleep at night because you keep thinking about some horribly cringy thing you did when you were a kid? We all have. I remember when I was a kid, not sure how old, I was in the play The Little Mermaid. I was an extra. I was the priest at the end who wedded Ariel and whatever his name was. For some reason, something possessed me to improvise on our last performance. I don't remember the exact circumstance, but I ended up pretending to faint and dropping what the audience thought was a Bible. Being in small town USA, the audience audibly gasped. Cringe. What was I thinking? In times like that, you have to remind yourself of commandment number 3. Love yourself, hold yourself, and forgive yourself. Allow yourself to move on. I have some light homework for you all. I want you to remember an embarrassing situation you were in. Once you start to feel embarrassed, instead of insulting yourself, I want you to take 3 slow, deep breaths, wrap your arms around yourself, and say the following words. I love myself, and I forgive myself. Say that 3 times. Now let us pray. Lord, holy selfishness, Klala, may you help me find your divine nature within myself, so that I may molt out of these mortal chains and join you in the hereafter, so that I may witness your divinity and we may finally join as one. Amen.
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 What a beautiful sermon.
was.
That was very, very nice. I actually really enjoyed that.
And so you said that if there was more interest, you would be more willing to, or not more willing, but you would make more sermons and do them. How would you do them? Would you do them live streaming? I'm assuming.
Some of them will be streamed on YouTube. Others will be a more proper video format on the YouTube page.
Okay, so that's something that people could potentially look forward to.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in hearing more sermons, make sure you do hit up their socials and you let them know.
Show your support.
You know?
Let them know that that's what you want to see. I
Yeah.
mean, that was very beautiful. So
Extremely beautiful. I'm actually really happy with that. I'd love to hear more. So make sure you guys, show a lot of support for the cause. Show a lot of support for the Holy Order and for Bishop Webb here. Hit up their socials. Let them know you guys want some sermons. Drop in for your own baptism. Drop in for, confession, whatever you want, whatever you need. It seems like the church is there, to stay. So, that was pretty much all the questions we had for you, Bishop. Would you mind if we took a look at your Twitter, though? Because the Twitter for the church is, honestly, I was reading through it, and it cracked me up, and I was like, you know what? I really just want to read it. It's really funny. I want to show other people.
Please go ahead.
yeah,
All right, let's take a look here. Give us one
James
second,
was
guys.
very excited for this.
I'm very excited. Their Twitter page is from the perspective of a very large lobster, and I love the stuff that they post. It's really, really funny. They're using my likeness. How dare they? No, I don't think fish can fly. I know what water is. Yeah, that's kind of sad to think about. Lobsters are typically just crawling along the ocean floor, They don't really... They might be looking up at fish and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What's
those are
going
flying
on up
to
there?
them.
Yeah.
Do they even know they're wet?
Yeah, do they even know they're wet? That's true.
Is water wet? That's
they're
another
wet
question.
because they're in the water.
Isn't that the whole debate where, like, if you're submerged in water, technically not wet because you're surrounded by it? Wasn't that a whole argument online
I think
for a while?
it is. Yeah, I think the debate is whether water is wet or not, and a lot of people say no because becoming wet is the act of being dry and then having liquid on you. So I think that if you're completely submerged in water, you're wet because you were dry at one point and you became wet. So I think that's a pretty safe assumption. So I think lobsters are wet. Definitely. To answer your questions, yes, lobsters are wet.
You heard it here.
Heard it here.
You solved it.
Fun lobster fact. It's a bad idea to stare directly into lobster eyes.
This is the official Twitter page here?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Sorry for the lack of posting. I've been trying to develop sonar. Lobsters were once considered poor man's chicken. Now I'm considered classy to eat. He seems very pleased with himself.
Yes,
He's like,
yes.
ooh, hoity-toity. There's the admin reveal, Leviathan Lobster God. There he is. What a handsome boy. I just met a scorpion and we're best friends now.
I crawled up on the beach today. I met a very rude seagull.
I'm not sure if I have to
They're
bolt
all
or take
rude.
a shit.
I was about to say they're all pretty rude.
They're all like nice, like
trying to steal your
good,
food and
good
shit.
little one-liner tweets here.
I do love, like, the thing about your socials and everything is that everything has really good puns or like.
Yeah, they have great puns, they have great wordings,
I
and
love that.
And I love how
It's
how
so much
kind of different everything is as well. Like the Twitter's from the perspective of a very large lobster. The Facebook page is just like a great place for
the community
the
to
community
get
to come together and
yes.
post memes and stuff. The Instagram's just a great place to like see like updates and look at the pictures and the memes and stuff. Like I love how it's all handled. Currently in the lobster tank at Walmart, I require assistance. And then the next one is the tank is in ruins. I have been liberated. It's big crustacean hours. I'm going to stay saying that all the time now. All right, guys, it's big crustacean hours, and let's get this snip going.
There's your next tweet. Let's get this snip going.
Let's get this snip going. Nature made crabs and crab-like creatures in an attempt to mimic the divinity of lobster. I caught crabs. 2 of the 9 circles of hell are red lobster. Do lobster simps exist? I almost read that as do lobster shrimps
exist. That's what I read
do
it as,
lobster
too.
shrimps exist? Hybrids? An octopus punched me today. That is all. The octopus learned its lesson. Ooh, this is a story. Turns out...
I love the continuing ones.
Yeah, a lobster punched me. Yeah, that was the next day. The first one was an octopus punched me today. That's all. And then the next day, the octopus learned its lesson. That was a 24-hour series that happened there. And then the next day, turns out the octopus's name is Phil. He's not such a bad guy. Now we go around punching sea critters together.
3 days.
3 days adventures with
commitment.
this octopus. And then he became an admin. I love that.
So, do you run these socials, or is that you're the
I do
bishop? Right?
not. They run the YouTube and the website.
Oh, you do the YouTube. Okay, cool.
So the YouTube
And I do have a TikTok.
and the what?
I think that's a TikTok. I think that's in the link tree as well.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's where Joe found.
Yeah,
out
Joe
about-
Joe found you on the TikTok, but surprisingly not on you guys'
Those-
TikTok.
Those were different TikToks. We took the official one down. There were just too many trolls going on, not getting much traction.
Right.
I thought I could use it just to post some short sermons
Yeah, no, that checks
every.
out.
Well,
With-
speaking
with-
of the website, let's take a little look at the website here. So if you guys didn't see before, we have been on the website before. On
Yes.
The day we found out about the church
Yep.
through Joe, we just looked up the website.
We did.
Yeah, we just looked up the Holy Order of the Claw.
This all worked out so beautifully, like how it all came together. So yeah.
And we sent the bishop an email, and he was lovely enough to come into the stream and agree to an interview
Yeah,
with
that
us.
was awesome.
Now
That's how
we're
this all
here.
started, guys, through this website right
yeah,
here.
so we're here on the website. Sorry, some of it's a little cut off by us and Bishop here. So let's check out About Us, how we're helping. We are a community-based organization focused on helping to make the world around us better, happier place for lobsters. With the help of our tireless staff, we organize fundraisers and community-building events. So again, make sure you guys check out the Clean Ocean action, Donate to a good cause, clean up the ocean, make the world a
Yes.
better place for lobsters,
And for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, me, and everybody in between.
I mean, the ocean affects so many parts of all of our lives that I feel like a lot of people don't even realize.
A lot of people don't think about it, but a lot of Earth's oxygen doesn't come from trees and stuff. It comes from algae in the ocean.
Right.
Actually, like 70% of the air we breathe comes from algae in the ocean. So
And there's a huge trash circle in the middle
an
of the
island.
ocean
There's a trash island
where where like 2 oceans meet, I believe.
It's in the Atlantic, I think.
It is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work to be done.
And it's expensive, so make sure you guys donate to help clean that
Yes,
up.
and it's really nice to see that you guys are involved in charities and such. So yeah, if you guys are interested in helping out with that, definitely check it out.
Don't
here
be
on the
afraid to
website.
do your part in real life too. If you live near the ocean, don't be afraid to pick up a bottle, pick up a plastic bag. It doesn't hurt nobody, but it helps everybody. Yeah, it is a claw-mandment after all. Speaking of the claw-mandments, you can find them right here. The buttons covered up by our faces, but all the claw-mandments are right here on the web page. So if you guys want to check that out, there's also the contact us. I like the TikToks on there too. If you guys
all the socials.
Yeah, if you guys need to contact anybody. Oh, look, here's the first cleansing. But I think for now that is the end of our interview. It was really great to ask you all these questions, Bishop. Thank you
Bishop,
so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything that you would like to share with everybody before we close this up?
Get out?
Just make sure to follow all of our socials, link below.
Yes.
There's definitely more to come.
Absolutely.
And we are very excited to see what more there is to come. I mean, we are now baptized.
We're now baptized. We're ordained in the church, and hopefully,
so we'll be following.
We'll be following.
If
We'll be
everybody else
following
wants
along.
to follow. Remember the like he said, the links are all in the chat on the Stream Elements link tree. We'll have Joe here post a link tree once more for you guys to check it out.
And feel free to check out our link tree as well if you guys want to see more streams.
Hopefully do more interviews.
Yeah, we do. But we want to do
stuff.
more interviews. I'm sure we're going to interview Bishop Webb again. Maybe get some of those secret files.
Yes. This isn't the last time you've seen Bishop Webb.
You haven't heard the last of Bishop Webb.
Yes, and thank you, Paul, and another member of the church coming into the chat and
Distorted Sam as well.
And Distorted
Another
Sam.
admin.
We really appreciate you guys for
stopping in, saying
stopping
hello,
in and hanging out with us.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody who watched the interview, and we're excited to see more of this. So thank you so much, Bishop Webb, for coming.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No worries.
And
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
See you guys later.
Peace.
Sure.